post. We have a special thanks to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers. If you're doing that, you are helping to fund Shane and keep this thing alive. If you are doing that, or even if you're not, can you try to remember, please, to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account? That costs you nothing. You've already paid for Amazon Prime, and Amazon pays us, or Shane, monthly, so long as you re-up that every couple of months. So please check the show description below, and we have instructions on how to link your accounts. And if you can get that done, we appreciate it. I'm on both Blue Sky and Twitter at Michael Pachter. You're free to follow me. So today's Pachter Factor live question is, how integral was GTA exclusivity for the success of the PlayStation? And the first three GTAs made by Rockstar were GTA 3 in 2001, GTA Vice City in 2002, and GTA San Andreas in 2004. Those three games were only on PlayStation 2. They were never made available to Xbox until the GTA trilogy 10 years later, or 15 years later. And, you know, the first multi-console title from Rockstar for the GTA series was GTA 4, which came out in 2008 and was on the Xbox 360. So the first three being exclusive, I don't think that Take-Two at the time had any idea that the game would be as successful as it was. If you looked at Take-Two shares back then, the stock traded like that game was going to do 2-3 million units. And you know, Rockstar had never made a big game before GTA 3. I famously had 325,000 units in my model because I very famously believed that no one wanted to be a cop killer. There's no way anybody would ever play a game that involved like harming police. And in fact, I was only off by 100x. The game did about 35 million units, so I missed by just a little bit. And the point is that, you know, 35 million people bought it, which means 35 million people bought PlayStation 2s. And, you know, obviously Sony sold 170 million or something PS2s. But that game, followed by Vice City, which was a little bigger, maybe 40, followed by San Andreas, which was a little bigger, maybe 45 million, very definitely helped. And the idea that they weren't available on any other console meant if you wanted to play them, you were buying a PlayStation. Now, obviously, Take-Two figured out, and I think they signed the contract for those three games and then decided not to. Better to have a timed exclusive, which they did with GTA 4, and Xbox 360 got GTA 4, everybody got GTA 5, everybody's getting GTA 6. Because now they realize they're going to sell 200 million units of GTA 6, and they did sell 200 million of GTA 5. So it's quite important. You know, I think all these games were on PC, so PC gamers for sure really liked playing, you know, GTA. But if you wanted to play the console version on your TV instead of sitting at your desk and playing, you know, on a smaller screen, you were buying a PlayStation 2. So yes, helped a lot. And I think that it's possible that that there are people who became fanboys of PlayStation and continued to buy PlayStation only. So, you know, it's very clear that PlayStation gained a competitive advantage, I would guess, in fairness, of about 20 or 30 million units that people bought just because they wanted to play GTA overall. You know, that clearly the PlayStation audience wanted to play GTA. But the Xbox potential audience, people who otherwise probably would have bought an Xbox, passed and decided to buy a PlayStation instead. And I'd say it contributed 20 million units, and those people became lasting fans. You know, that Sony had a built-in advantage of a bigger installed base when the PS3 came out, blew it by charging way too much and making a device that was a little too complicated for some developers to develop for. Got their mojo back, you know, with the PS4, and the rest is history. I mean, they just crushed Microsoft in PS4 cycle. They're crushing again in the PS5 cycle. So, you know, clearly, I think the GTA exclusivity early on gave them a sustainable competitive advantage, and they exploited it after that by marketing really well to the people that were fanboys. GTA didn't probably help them much when they launched in later years in other jurisdictions. Like they got big in Latin America, but they had such a rabid fan base and a well-recognized brand that I think could help them, to establish dominance there as well. They've always been dominant in Europe, and they're less dominant in the U.S. mostly because Microsoft has done a better job marketing than Sony to super hardcore, shooter fanboys. But again, they were close even in the PS3 cycle in the US, and they were, Sony was ahead in Europe, and I think GTA established that. So, it's clear that by establishing the brand PlayStation with the brand Grand Theft Auto, they've created that perception among gamers that that's the place to play GTA. Are there, a handful of people, 1 million, 2 million people who think that GTA is not available anywhere except on PlayStation? That's why they're buying PS5? Yeah, probably. But I think it's more the brand recognition and that competitive advantage that Sony obtained by getting people to become PlayStation owners. It's sustainable. It's like, if you choose between, a Lexus and a Mercedes, once you pick one, you tend to stick with it. That's the car you drive, and I think that's true of Ford trucks and Chevy trucks. Once they win you over, you tend not to change. It's true of anything you do, life insurance, or home insurance, car insurance. Once you pick Allstate, you tend not to switch to State Farm or even check and see how your rates are. So gaining a customer bank, you don't change your bank once you get a checking account. There's a lot of research on that. So Sony, I think, exploits that advantage once they sold the PS2 to a consumer, that he's going to buy a PS3, PS4, PS5. Now, as that guy ages up and buys fewer consoles, that has to change. Now that you've got people born, after the PS4 launched, they're not even thinking about that old advantage. So it'll fade over time. But yes, I believe it's a sustainable advantage. I think Sony recognized that early on, and they really feared Xbox being a formidable competitor because they didn't know how much money Microsoft would throw at the console. So they definitely spent to sign GTA to an exclusive. And what happened is GTA got so big that Sony couldn't afford to pay up for a GTA 4 exclusive. And, Take-Two couldn't afford to take it even if Sony paid them. They had to get that brand on, more consoles, and GTA 5, proved out that it really was a good strategy for Take-Two. If you are a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber, we thank you. You're getting this show real time. It's Pachter Factor Live. If you are not doing that, or you are doing that, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. It's free. Amazon pays, you pay nothing. You've already paid for it. The way to do that is in the instructions, or in the show description. The instructions on how to do that are in the show description below. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky at Michael Pachter. We will see you next week for Pachter Factor Live.